Welcome to the Dizzy Red Panda podcast, a podcast about all the crafting projects that have us dizzy with excitement. This week we have knitting and crocheting.
I'm Katie. I'm from Duluth, Minnesota, which is right next to Lake Superior, and I'm known on Instagram and Ravelry as Nerdy in Plaid.
And I'm Cheryl, just outside St. Paul, Minnesota, on Ravelry as Red and Instagram as Red Knitter.
All show notes and mentions and links can be found right down below, and if they aren't mentioned, let us know. All right, so I think today's going to be a shorter episode just from kind of where we've been.
I'm just here to hang out with you, Katie. I don't really have much to contribute today.
I have nothing really useful to contribute today. So.
All right. So that's some great promotion for us.
Yeah, it is.
For the rest of the episode.
Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Right. Well, so there have been some major changes going on for you. Of the positive variety. Can we count it as that? And then I've just come back from vacation. So, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been crazy times. Yeah, we finally got hold of the house that we bought back at the end of August. So the previous owners finally left and gave us keys. And
nice.
We got to do our thing. So we have been renovating and moving and painting and doing all the things for nearly a month now, and I'm exhausted, and everything has broken. Our plumbing has broken. Our car has broken 3 times. My work computer broke. Just everything is breaking, and I'd like it to stop. And if you hear banging right now, it's because my husband's putting together bookshelves so that we can get rid of some of the boxes that are everywhere, but slowly being unpacked. We're seeing visible progress every day. Our big renovation, like our most time-consuming one, was our bathroom, and that is nearly finished, and it's looking very beautiful. So it's finished enough to be functional. I've taken some glorious showers in it already.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
And now you're in your place.
Like you had a beautiful time on vacation. I saw your pictures.
Yeah, I was only gone for a couple of days, so we got fall break for Thursday and Friday of this week. I got out of work as fast as I could on Wednesday night, headed up the North Shore, just an hour and a half or so, to Baptism River, which is right next to Chettagooch State Park. That's probably one of my very, very favorite state parks. So yeah. I was staying at a tiny B&B that only has 4 rooms. Like, it's super tiny. And so I would go hiking in the morning when there wasn't snow. On Thursday morning, there was snow, so I didn't hike as far as I wanted to because I was hiking by myself. There weren't a whole lot of tourists. And I had a cell phone, but, there's only so far you can describe. So for safety, and then on Friday it was absolutely stunning. So I got out a little bit more and then stopped for quick on my way back on Saturday. So it was lovely.
Nice. That sounds perfect.
Yeah, fall hiking is now my favorite time. There are no bugs, not lots of people, which I'm a fan of as well.
Minimal
and it's
sweating.
Cool weather. What?
I said minimal sweating.
Correct. And I mean, it was cool enough. It's always easier to put layers on than take many layers off. And so I am a huge fan of fall hiking now. So.
Yes. We went on a baby moon to the North Shore and got almost to Canada because we were doing all the state parks that we could find along from Duluth to Canada. And it was great because it was in October and I was fairly pregnant at the time and still hiked along, and it was, it's great.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
And there are a lot of good restaurants and things like that. So I ate fabulously. Plus my B&B had breakfast. I had the suite because I wanted space to spread out and write and read, which I did. And so my breakfast was brought in every morning, spoiled rotten. I was spoiled rotten.
That's
the breakfast
amazing.
Was delicious. So anyway, yeah, so things have been busy for both of us. Well, you're long-term busy. Mine is short-term busy at the moment. But yeah, came back well rested. I got lots of knitting and reading in. I read a book for fun, which doesn't happen often during the school year. So that was kind of nice.
Awesome.
It was kind of a spooky book, though. It had ghosts involved in it. It was by Simone St. James. She's a great author. I really enjoy her. But reading essentially a ghost story while it's pitch black with the wind whipping outside in the middle of the North Woods, and I'm pretty sure it was at a time when none of the other guests had arrived because it was midweek. I was like, not the greatest idea.
No, thank you. I would not sleep.
I slept just fine. It took me a while to get to sleep, but... All right, so should we jump in?
I mean, to the extent that we can jump in. You finished some stuff, so that's good. All I have accomplished this month is, like, ripping my nails to shreds.
That's what happens when you're doing renovation and painting things.
Yes, and picking off wallpaper.
You didn't use a steamer?
Let's not get into home renovations. I'll bore everyone. If you want to hear how to remove wallpaper, let me know. And
my mom really likes removing wallpaper. Just letting
well, it's only half removed, so she can come on down.
I think she's looking for any reason to like not be here. My parents are still selling their house, so it's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
All right, so we're both wearing finished objects, but they're not visible because they're on our feet.
Yep.
And we're not, yoga is great, but it doesn't make me that flexible.
I am going to go to yoga at my new Y tonight. I'm excited for that.
That is exciting.
Yeah, I hope the teacher's good because I want to make it my regular class.
Yeah, no kidding. That would be very good.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to have some cat presents today. She was very angry that I left her for 2 days. And she is super clingy now. So, I finished something.
Finished something.
I finished something. I actually finished a few things, but I'm only showing one because the other things are blocking. So because I've been working on some long-term projects like sweaters. I've needed some quick off the needles types of things. So super bulky headbands are the way to go on that one.
Mm.
So here's one that I finished.
Nice.
So it's just, let's see if I can get the cable to show. Please don't sit on my printer. It's a super narrow headband with a chunky cable in the middle of it. I did a provisional cast on, and I'm trying to see where my sewing was. Oh, so this cable's just a little bit longer, but that's where I joined. So
I can't see it.
Yeah, so it just looks like it has an extra. I have to look at it for a while to find it. So I'm pretty proud of that provisional cast on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Drops Andes is an alpaca blend. And it's a super bulky yarn. So I'm going to be really careful when I block this just because I don't want it to grow too much. So I'll probably just do a quick spray and let it dry. I've been working on a couple of other super bulky or chunky headbands just to get that yarn out of my stash. And yeah, I figured why not? So I made up that pattern. So it's nothing.
Are they for you or are they
I'm going to be
shop?
So I'm participating in a sale, like a craft sale in December. So I just wanted to have some other things. I'm also working on one of the reasons why we're recording a little later today is because I was at the shop machine knitting some cowls today. So I just wanted to get those out on the machine so then I can Kitchener and then finish the edgings on them because yeah. I think I'll have enough hats, but I never feel like I have enough for that, So there's going to be a whole lot of hats for the next couple of weeks until that's done.
Do you remember that buffalo plaid hat that you made? I don't remember what the pattern is.
Yeah, that northern toque.
Yeah, that one. So they have a kit at my new local yarn shop, and it has a little Minnesota-shaped patch to go with
cute.
It. And I am very tempted. I might need to pick up one of those kits.
That's adorable.
Anything Minnesota, like, I need it.
I am very much that way, especially with things along the North Shore. like Lake Superior themed, I'm all about that.
I saw a
It's
tweet.
it's such an easy knit. Really, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might need to pick that up. I'll have to see if she still has them because I saw something on her social media maybe a week ago,
Oh.
and maybe everybody else adores them too. I don't know. But she's
And this
super
is
nice, so I feel like if I ask, she would maybe.
well, and if you ask, that they're more likely to put some more kits together.
Mm-hmm.
So is this a different yarn shop than what you were previously at Woodbury?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's a yarn shop in Woodbury that was just down the street from where I was living, and there's a yarn shop in historic Hastings that just opened a little less than a year ago.
Nice.
Now. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I'll probably, I'm not knitting there today because we're recording, but I think I might go and knit there next Sunday afternoon.
That will be nice. That will be really nice.
Make some friends.
Well, and it's so good that another yarn store has opened because, you hear stories about how many yarn shops have closed in the last 2 years, especially down in the cities. And so that's always nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. And it might be the world's tiniest yarn shop. It is so little, but it's like really good stuff.
Oh, so good.
She's done a very nice job with it, and she dyes her own yarn too. So
you're wow. I will definitely
check out her stuff.
See what she does. Mm-hmm. Nice. All right, I would encourage you to do that hat. Like, that is a good palette cleanser, and it whips up so fast. I mean, it's kind of what I need right now. Yeah.
I haven't turned in a class for this month for the House Cup, and it's probably going to be a partial, but...
Yeah, that's okay. Headband. One evening, I kid you not.
Could be a headband. I mean, I'm not... Can I just go into my whip now?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get to my halfway point on my Aurora Borealis for my owl. Like, unless some sort of magic happens. Oh, I just dropped the circle I held up. Because I finished one more, so I have 4 of them done. And then I just started working with my other contrast color.
Oh, today. I like that. I think
you should like it, because this is the one you bought for me, so...
I meant...
If you don't like it, that's a problem.
I like it with the red. I think it goes well with the red.
Yeah, so there it is with the blue. I just barely started it as we were getting ready to record here. So this is Black Sheep Dye Works in Raspberry Peach.
Yeah.
And it's super cute. So, like, you have till the end of the month for 50% on owls. And I think I said I would do 8 of these circles. Ooh. I'm not going to double what I currently have in that amount of time, but I think I'm just going to try to finish the owl by the finish deadline instead of worrying about the 50%, because I'm not having a pointsy term anyway. That's not possible.
Don't worry. I'm not going to make the midway point for my flax either, so.
Okay, well, we'll just be losers together.
I may not even finish my, no, it's going to be really, really a big push to finish my mission as well.
I haven't even cast on my mission, so I don't know.
It's due in 2 weeks.
Is it?
Yeah, it's due on the 15th. So I know it's not going to happen for me. I'm barely through halfway point of one baby sweater, to be clear. So, I'm okay with it.
It's fine. It's all fine.
Yeah.
I almost didn't sort this term because I knew it was going to be, like, not a big term for contributing.
Yeah, that's okay, though.
Oh.
So you're making progress, slowly but surely.
Yeah, I'm making progress. I just really didn't knit much this month. Like, I had said that I was going to cast on some socks as sort of a tuck-in-my-bag travel project. I haven't even settled on a pattern. Like, I can't even make up my mind on a pattern, and I've been so exhausted that I'm just, like, falling into bed each night, so...
Well, yeah, work plus family plus renovations. I get it.
Yeah, it's just been too crazy. But now that we're actually here and, like, some of the unpacking is done, I'm feeling like maybe I can knit again.
So you'll have an office craft room area?
I am coming to you live from my future craft room, which is currently a staging area for the rest of the bathroom work. So I have, like, a little corner of it that's mine. But, yeah, it's mostly stuff in here, like random bathroom stuff that I do not understand.
But that are necessary.
I'm sure they are.
So I am working on, I'm teaching this as a class actually. I'm working on a pair of mittens, and these are the All Hands on Deck mittens by Rachel Klusner. And so I've made these before. So I've done the thumb. You do the thumbs first, and then you do the top of the mitten. So I'm getting ready to join the thumb and the top of the mitten together, and then go down. So it looks like a weird opposite Michael Jackson glove right now. But it will look like a mitten, I promise. And this is out of Knit Picks, Wool of the Andes Superwash Bulky in the color Celestial. So the Katie Blue mittens that I had made out of this last year somehow got into a washing machine and felted. So I needed new mittens. So yeah, I really like these pair because this pair I've made, this is the third set I've made, and they have a couple of different mitten tops, and you can use any weight of yarn with it. So this is a great way to learn a pinhole cast on. You can do a traditional round top mitten. I did the flat top mitten, so like what you do for a toe of a sock, and then put that together. So I really like these because it's a fit as you go, so you can get your guaranteed mittens that fit you, and you can make some adjustments as you go. So I really like these, and soon I will have another pair of mittens because you can never have too many mittens up here.
Do you think that they're fiddly? That the top down seems like it would be really fiddly.
I don't think so, just because I would actually find the thumbs to be more fiddly. I don't think so. They're not more fiddly than gloves. I would never ever knit gloves. I like these because you can try them on. And once you've marked down the numbers for your first one, the second one goes really fast.
Sure.
So, yeah, I would say the first one is fiddly. Mm-hmm. But that's just kind of trying things on. To be fair, this is the first one I've done in bulky. And so when I cast on my thumb and knit my first thumb, it was just too tight. It was stretched. So what I did was I ripped the thumb out and then recast on a different number of stitches to do my expand. And that worked much better. So that was like an hour of knitting. So it really wasn't that big a deal. But I like the pattern, and I like that you can use all of your yarn. So I've knit plenty of bottom-up mittens, and those are nice, but I like to be able to have a bit of a longer cuff, and you can't always be guaranteed that when you're working from bottom up.
Sure.
Kind of like a toe-up sock. You can knit as far as you want to. So I'll split this yarn in 2 cakes so that I can keep knitting and have a pretty long cuff.
Solid rationale.
That's what I think. So I think it's really good if you have like a special skein of indie yarn or just even a special color of yarn that you want to make sure that you use every single bit of. I think it's really, really good for that. So
cool.
Yeah. The other thing that I've been working on is crocheted blanket. So let's talk about how this ticks all of the boxes that I normally don't do, or I don't like for projects. So we'll just put that out there. Here's a contrarian project I'm working on. This is, first of all, a crocheted project, which I don't do very many of. It's called the Weekender Blanket by Sandra Paul. She's also known as Cherry Heart. She has fantastic patterns, from blankets to shawls, and I feel like she has a garment, but I'm not sure. But this is a hexagon, so it's a hexagon blanket. And you join as you go, and I'm actually following the join as you go feature. So here's a hexagon mid crochet. I think I'm on my last round or just starting my last round. So I'm getting ready to join. So I really like these because they're a 3-round hexagon, and you can knit them in about 15 minutes. I'm using a yarn. Yeah, here's the front. So I'm using, this is all from the same skein of yarn, and same colorway, obviously. So it has all sorts of, it's definitely a gradient of sorts, color changing. It goes through many different colors. So this is a Serdar Jewel spun. Kathy, our yarn shop owner, had ordered like 6 of these, and they just flew off the shelves. Like it
I
was.
bet.
So let's talk about how this yarn usually isn't my thing, but I'll tell you why about it. So this is Serdar Jewel Spun. I think this is a newer line for them. This is a single ply. I don't like single plies. This is an Aran weight, and this is 200 grams, so 546 yards in a ball. And that's the 200 grams is the reason I bought it, because I was fascinated. It's ridiculous. I only bought one of these, which is definitely not enough to make a blanket, but because it's a commercial made, I know that I can just pick up another one, and because I'm kind of splattering my colors around, I'm not really worried about dye lots matching or not. Yeah, so I've done this blanket before. I'm actually doing a join as you go. So she says join in the corners only, and I'm doing, so here and here. I'm doing 2 extra joins in the middle because I don't want a really big gaping hole. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, this is just a palette cleanser pick up when I have a little bit of time. But I don't want to pick up a sweater and figure out where I am at. So that's really what I've been working on. I'm also working on some machine knit cowls, as I have mentioned, but there's nothing to show there. It's just one long panel. Like, it doesn't look functional at all. And so I'm hoping to finish the panels tomorrow, or at least sometime this week, so I can start Kitchenering. And I'm excited to learn a new way to Kitchener.
Oh.
Yeah, so for the circular sock machine, it's fairly popular to, well, yes, you have to Kitchener your toes together, but to not put in double pointed needles, and you do the Kitchener from the wrong side. And then you rip out the waste yarn. So you don't have to shove in any needles to catch the live stitches. So I'm hoping that
I'm gonna need a demonstration to understand.
I have to learn it first. So I heard about it, and it really, really interested me, especially as another technique, because I know sometimes learning how to Kitchener can be really confusing, especially with to newer knitters who just don't do it all that often. I know that when I was learning how to Kitchener, I learned from knitty.com, and they had a great picture tutorial, and I just scrolled up and down with every single step. And I had to look at that many, many times until I memorized it. So this interests me just because I think it might be another easier way to learn. I hope, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, well, hopefully it won't be as disastrous as last time's Kitchener, which might be the worst job I've ever done in my entire life. So to be fair, I also have not finished that cowl yet, just because I was so ashamed of it. So I should probably do that first. So we'll see. But yeah, that's, I still have the flax. I still have the love note, but they're not getting a whole lot of love lately. I was working on, so while I was gone, I brought yarn I always overpacked yarn, right? Of course. So I had like 6 projects with me. I finished a couple of hats, was working on a couple of other things, but those are soaking. And so color work always looks wonky until you block it. Speaking of color work, have you been on Ravelry's like hot, like popular 20 or whatever list that is? Searched by most.
Not for a little while.
Okay, so there's a clock that has been really popular.
A clock?
A clock. It's a knitted clock. It's called Yoka Clock.
You're gonna knit a clock, aren't you?
I am. And it's a color work clock.
Okay.
Out of fingering weight.
I can't just sit here.
And it's been there for a while. The pattern is kind of expensive, But considering it's $10, so considering how much instruction there is and how many options you're given, I'm going to consider that a fair price, especially since she walks you through the entire project. So it's called Yoke O'Clock.
It's not on the first page, so.
And I've been obsessed with it ever since it came out.
It looks like a tam.
Yes, but it's stretched over an LP. I'm sure, first of all, I'm sure your husband would really love if you stole one of his to use. I'm kidding.
Oh, he has so many he can afford for me. Do you want me to give you one?
No, I have. I'm not to the place where I've bought the pattern, but I haven't like gone in and decided on my motifs yet. But it looks fascinating.
See, I just want that to be a hat. Like,
well, it would be huge. It would be absolutely huge.
I guess. I mean, it's just really pretty, but I don't know that I want it as a clock.
Okay.
But you're going to knit a clock.
I am. Not right now. I have to get through Christmas first. I'm not knitting blankets this year for people for Christmas, just to be super clear on that.
I think you've already told us that before, and I feel like you should probably keep saying it each episode.
Just as a repeating for me of a
like a little mantra for you, yeah.
Yes. So I really want to knit that clock, just because I am fully bitten by the color work bug, and I'm loving color work right now.
I'm so happy about that.
I mean, it took me long enough. I'm waiting for the garment knitting to really bite me. I'm a product garment knitter right now, and I want to be more of the process. But
sure,
I'll get there. Hopefully, eventually. But yeah, so that's what's coming up on my future knits whenever I fit that in. Let's be realistic. It's not going to be in 2019.
You never know. December 26th.
It depends how desperate I get. But it's also fingering weight in color work, and that's just not something that super appeals to me. But I'll have to do it.
If you want your clock.
If I want my clock, and I do want my clock. But I have avoided like most hats that are color work that are in fingering weight, though they're beautiful. I'm like, no, that's okay.
But it can be so much more intricate if it's fingering weight.
Yeah. But that also requires me to use like size 0 and 1 needles, which I'm not a huge fan of. That's one of the reasons why I don't like knitting socks, is because I have to use a size 0 on like the toes and the ribbing. Not something appeals to me.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's my deal breaker. But something uses a 15 needle, like that Northern Toque. That definitely is gonna use a size 15 needle. I just bought the double points, by the way. Well, because it's like maybe 30 rows. Doubt even that. I think it's like 13. But anyway, that's all I've got. All the plans, none of the actions.
Sounds about right.
Like, if I I will complete these mittens, and I'll turn that in, and then I'll have headbands to turn in, and like, wow, way to build up those points there.
You're pointier than I am. I gotta figure something out that I can. Just gotta keep my sorting pretty.
Just do a little pumpkin.
Yeah, I guess. I guess I could do a little pumpkin.
Yeah. Or does little E need a new pumpkin hat?
No, I think his from last year still. Oh, Katie, I have to tell you.
What happened?
So you know that hat that you made for him?
Yeah.
With the green highlighter and gray stripes and
yes.
the pom-pom on top? So last weekend we were driving back, and it was like a longer drive because we stopped somewhere on the way and blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I get home, go to the back seat to get him out of his car seat. He had plucked out the pom-pom and had like a whole little handful of pom-pom yarn bits. And I was like, why did you do that? Katie made that for you. Like, I was so upset. And he just, like, I think he said he didn't want a pom-pom on his hat. And it was like, then tell me. I won't get you a hat without a pom-pom. Like, geez, you don't have to rip apart this hat. But the thing is, you make your pom-poms so full that it's still fine. It's still fine. He had a whole handful of little yarn bits, and there's still a solid pom-pom there.
That you can now remove. I will work on getting another hat for him sans pom-pom.
Oh my gosh. But I thought he loved pom-poms last year. I don't know what's happening.
But something has changed. Well, I'm just concerned that you are going to find that yarn forever until you get rid of that car. Like,
we were in my mom's car, so
she's gonna find pom-pom bits forever. It's kind of like glitter. It's just how it works. Gigi has pulled apart several pom-poms because she thinks it's a whole lot of fun. And there is a peach hat I knit. I don't know why I bought peach yarn, but whatever. And I knit a hat with a pom-pom at least 2 years ago, and she destroyed that pom-pom, and every once in a while I still find a string. Like, where is this coming from? Like, in the laundry. I'm like, where? How? Anyway. So I'm sorry for your mom's car.
Not my problem. Actually, we might be buying that car from her, so.
Depending on when Bam Bam goes to sleep.
I think we're going to buy that car from her, because they're looking to get a new car anyway, and yeah. So
you're going to be finding yarn particles forever.
Yeah, so now that I think about it, I might be the one to find those yarn bits.
All right. That's all we've got. Enjoy your afternoon. Bye.